The Honorable Prime Minister,
Prime Minister, Ministers, Permanent Secretaries, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for us at the Energy and Resources Institute to honor the Honorable Prime Minister with the Sustainable Development Leadership Award for 2019. Fiji has championed the cause of the vulnerable small island developing states and brought their perspective to center stage globally. And I think nowhere was it more evident than in your leadership of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, and particularly the use of the Talanoa dialogue as a very effective tool of enhancing dialogue which leads to progress in the climate negotiations. As the global community, we are very, very grateful for your leadership. You have been at the forefront of ambitious policies to combat environmental damage. And some of the things that all of us are very proud of in the community is your promise that at least 10% of the electricity in Fiji would come from the new renewable sources. And this is in addition to the hydroelectricity, which is already zero carbon. You have looked at planting 4 million trees in the next 4 years. Again, an extremely ambitious target for a country which starts with a very high base in any case. Your longer term strategy to go to zero carbon. And the other things which I think provide the global leadership are things like the green bond, the sovereign green bond that you have raised. Again, a first in the world. The environment and climate adaptation levy that has been put in place on plastics in tourism. All of these are things that the world can learn from. We at TERI are extremely delighted. In fact, we are proud of the partnership that we have created with the government of Fiji. We believe that useful and effective implementation only comes out of real partnerships when both sides bring in their own learnings, their own contributions to the table, and therefore look at each other as partners rather than in any other form of working together. We are delighted that as we move ahead, we look at innovative ways of both developing and implementing new programs. I have been very fortunate to have received both Attorney General Ayaz Qayyum and Permanent Secretary Joshua Wycliffe at the Sustainable Development Summit in last year, 2018, and when we signed an MOU with Fiji. It's a partnership now which is beginning to happen. We would very much like to discuss with you our own learnings and see how can we convert them so they're most effective for Fiji. Sir, I would very much like you to come to the next Sustainable Development Summit, which will be on the 29th and 30th of January next year, and present this award to your next Sustainable Development Leadership Award winner. Sir, may I say it's a huge honor and privilege for us to both felicitate you, but more importantly, present to all of us in the world the kinds of exemplary actions that you and the government of Fiji have initiated. Thank you, sir.
Development in Fiji and other vulnerable Pacific Island countries and from the global climate negotiations.
To you, Dr. Mathur, and your team, I thank you for taking the time to come and honor us with this award, coming all the way from India to Fiji. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Matu. And it's truly my great pleasure to welcome you to Fiji. And I'm incredibly grateful that you could take the time to come all the way to Fiji from New Delhi to give me this award in person. It truly is a gesture that I will never forget. The 2019 Sustainable Development Leadership Award will have a special cherished home here in my office, and it will serve as a constant reminder of the bold and ambitious work undertaken by the Institute. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, less than 2 months ago, when I gave a video address to attendees at the TERI World Sustainable Development Summit, I mentioned that this award was more than a win for me or a win for Fiji. It was a win for small and developing states around the globe. And it shows that when it comes to impacting the world, it is not the size of your country that matters, but the size of your voice. And that for a country like ours, with a population of less than 1 million, to be recognized by TERI, based in your nation, for over 1.3 billion population, is proof that Fiji's voice is being heard far and wide. Sir, I have a great affinity for TERI, affinity that I know is shared by my Attorney General, and we very much value the work that you're doing to pave the way for a more sustainable future. Organizations like yours and leaders like you are exactly who we need in our grand coalition in order to really move the needle and make a difference for the sake of our planet's future. That spirit of cooperation is precisely what made Fiji's COP23 presidency such a success. It took an entire team of climate champions to make sure things went smoothly, a network that has worked tirelessly to help curb climate change and, of course, create a legacy of global leadership for Fiji. I dedicate this award to them. Of course, our work, sir, is far from over. So let me take this opportunity to reaffirm Fiji's commitment and leadership in the global campaign for climate action. Again, thank you, Dr. Matu. Thank you and your team. And I look forward to continuing to watch the relationship between Fiji and TERI grow in the months and years ahead. Thank you, sir.